All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Sunil Verma and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. Nation pays homage to great freedom fighter Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose on his birth anniversary today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address inaugural function of Parakram Divas in Kolkata today. Prime Minister to also hand over land patta to indigenous landless people of Assam at Shivasagar. Home Minister Amit Shah to chair plenary session of North-Eastern Council meeting in Shillong. Full dress rehearsal for Republic Day parade being held in the national capital this morning. And Myanmar, Mauritius, Morocco and Seychelles receive India-made Covishield vaccine. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these three simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. Now the news. The nation pays homage to great freedom fighter Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose on his birth anniversary today. It was on this day in 1897 Netaji was born in Cuttack, Odisha. The day is being celebrated as Parakram Divas. The year-long celebrations to commemorate 125th birth anniversary year of Netaji also started today. The government has decided to celebrate the birth anniversary of Netaji as Parakram Divas on 23rd of January every year. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will preside over the inaugural event of the celebrations being held at Kolkata. Union Culture Ministry has planned a number of activities and projects for this year-long commemoration. A high-level committee headed by the Prime Minister has been constituted to commemorate the 125th birth anniversary of Subhash Chandra Bose in a befitting manner. The Ministry of Education proposed to establish 5 chairs on Netaji in 5 Indian universities, organize online lectures and webinars on teachings of Netaji. National Film Development Corporation under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting will organize a short film competition on how to fulfill Netaji's dreams for India. Doordarshan and All India Radio will host panel discussions, produce documentaries and other programs on the life and times of Netaji. Railway Ministry has also renamed Howrah Kalka Mail as Netaji Express. It is one of the oldest trains of Indian Railways. During the freedom struggle, the great freedom fighter Netaji at one occasion highlighted the importance of unity among the countrymen to end the British rule. Netaji had also called upon the people to be ready for sacrifice for the sake of the motherland.
बहनों और भाइयों, हमने जो आजादी की लड़ाई छेड़ रखी है, उसे तब तक जारी रखना होगा जब तक हमें मुकम्मल आजादी हासिल न हो। दलादली, बहस मुबाहस और विभिन्न मतभेदों को भुलाकर विभिन्न दिशाओं में बिखरी सारी ताकत जितना शीघ्र हम केंद्रित कर सकेंगे, उतना ही जल्द हम आजादी हासिल कर सकेंगे। आप संगठित शक्ति से शांति और अहिंसा पूर्वक आत्म बलिदान करने के लिए जल्द से जल्द तैयार हो जाइए।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit West Bengal today to address the inaugural function of the Parakram Divas celebrations at Victoria Memorial in Kolkata. In a series of tweets, the Prime Minister said, among the various programs being organized across the nation, one special program is being held at Haripura in Gujarat. He said Haripura has a special relation with Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. It was at the historic Haripura session of 1938 that Netaji Bose took up the presidentship of the Congress Party. The Prime Minister said today's program at Haripura will be a tribute to Netaji's contribution to the nation. He said on the eve of Netaji Jayanti, his mind goes back to 23rd of January 2009, the day E-Gram Vishwagram project was launched from Haripura. This initiative revolutionized Gujarat's IT infrastructure and took the fruits of technology to the poor in the remotest parts of the state. Mr. Modi said he can never forget the affection of the people of Haripura who took him through an elaborate procession on the same road as Netaji Bose was taken in 1938. The Prime Minister also expressed the hope that the thoughts and ideals of Netaji keep inspiring people to work towards building a strong, confident and self-reliant India, whose human-centric approach contributes to a better planet in the years to come. A high-level committee, headed by the Prime Minister, has been constituted for deciding the programs and to supervise and guide the commemoration throughout the year. The committee will provide guidance for the commemoration activities in Delhi, Kolkata and other places associated with Netaji and Azad Hind Fauj, both in India as well as overseas.
आकाशवाणी का समाचार सेवा प्रभाग नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस की जयंती के अवसर पर अपने स्पॉटलाइट कार्यक्रम में 9:15 से 9:30 तक प्रस्तुत करेगा नेताजी की पराक्रम गाथा।
जो संघर्ष से डरे नहीं, अजेय ब्रिटिश हुकूमत को हराने जो स्वयं वज्र बन गए, कदम बढ़ाएगा, गीत गाएगा, ये जिंदगी है कौम की, तो कौम पे लुटाएगा। स्वतंत्रता संग्राम के वीर अमर सेनानी नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस को 23 जनवरी उनके जन्म दिवस अर्थात पराक्रम दिवस पर कृतज्ञ राष्ट्र का शत-शत नमन। मेरे हिंद आगे बढ़, मरने से फिर भी तू न डर, उड़ा के दुश्मनों का शत्रु ने वतन बढ़ाएगा।
President Ramnath Kovind has paid tributes to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose as the nation commences his 125th birth anniversary celebrations. In a tweet, Mr. Kovind said, "It is befitting to celebrate this day as Parakram Divas to honor his boundless courage and valor." He said Netaji instilled the fervor of nationalism among his countless followers. He said, "Netaji is one of our most beloved national heroes who made extraordinary contribution to India's freedom struggle." The President said, "Netaji's patriotism and sacrifice shall always inspire us." He said, "We committed to strengthen the spirit of freedom so strongly espoused by him." Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has paid tributes to the iconic freedom fighter and visionary leader Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose on his birth anniversary today. In a tweet, Mr. Naidu said that Netaji personified valor, determination and sacrifice and played an invaluable role in liberating our motherland from the yoke of British rule. He said the nation will forever be grateful to Netaji for his enormous contribution in India's freedom struggle.
In Odisha, special arrangements have been made at the Birthplace Museum of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose in Cuttack to mark Netaji's 125th birth anniversary. A number of dignitaries, including Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan and State Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik, are paying rich tribute to Netaji at his birthplace. The Union Ministry of Culture has organized a special cultural show at the venue under the Ek Bharat Shreshth Bharat program. We have a report from our correspondent.
Having been born and schooled in Cuttack, Netaji rose to become one of the topmost heroes of the Indian freedom movement that the country has ever produced. Netaji's birthplace museum in Odia Bazaar in the Millennium City of Cuttack stands as an eloquent testimony to his nationalistic legacy that includes visits on his valiant journey as a patriot par excellence, as a political leader of extraordinary spirit, and over and above as the founder-commander of the Azad Hind Fauj. Every year, his birthplace draws a large number of people who are eager to acquire an eyeful of the gallery number 9, the room where one of the tallest and toughest fighter patriot of this nation had arrived to create history. Girish Chandra Das, AII News, Bhubaneswar.
In Madhya Pradesh, Parakram Divas is being celebrated along with the rest of the nation. Sarvajit Singh Dhullon, son of Gurbaksh Singh Dhullon, while speaking to AIR News, remembers Netaji's indomitable spirit and selfless service to the nation.
Sarvajit Singh Dhillon, son of late Gurbaksh Singh Dhillon, who was close associate of Netaji and Colonel in Azad Hind Fauj, has welcomed the decision to celebrate Netaji's birth anniversary as a day of valor.
फिर जब हम नेताजी का इतिहास का वर्णन करते हैं या नेताजी का कोई दिन मनाते हैं तो फिर हम सबको ये भी सोचना चाहिए, भारतवासियों को, राजनीतिक लोगों को भी, जनता को भी, कि हम वैसा बनने का प्रयास करें, तभी तो सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा।
Gurbaksh Singh Dhillon was residing in the Shivpuri district of Madhya Pradesh during his last days of life. His Samadhi Sthal is also situated at village Hatod in Shivpuri, known as Azad Hind Park. Pooja P. Vardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
IFFI will pay tribute to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose on the occasion of his 125th birth anniversary today. In Netaji's honor, the film Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, The Forgotten Hero by Shyam Benegal will be screened. IFFI, that commenced on 16 January, will conclude tomorrow. We have more from our Panaji correspondent.
David A. David, director of the World Panorama film The Border, The La Frontera, said that he tried to create such a dynamics in the film which shows the irony that though we are erecting the barriers amongst each other, we are ending up alone. While addressing the press, he said that the film throws light into the political crisis between the Colombia and Venezuela through the story of an Andean woman. Meanwhile, the filmmaker, media consultant, cinema academic and writer Professor Pankaj Saxena said that the past often shapes the present. Film history is a central part of the film education. Mr. Saxena was speaking at the virtual masterclass on the beginning of a cinema. With the Mukesh Thali, Tuchar Dado, for Air News, Panji, Goa.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will hand over land patta to indigenous landless people of Assam at an event in Shivasagar today. Assam government will give land pattas to 1,03,000 people this month. The Prime Minister will start the distribution process at Shivasagar. Assam government has already provided land pattas to over 1 lakh people recently, and Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal took the decision to provide land pattas to another over 1 lakh people this month. The Prime Minister paid tributes to Balasaheb Thackeray on his Jayanti. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said he was unwavering when it came to upholding his ideals. The Prime Minister said he worked tirelessly for the welfare of people. Home Minister Amit Shah will visit Shillong today to chair the 69th plenary meeting of the North Eastern Council NEC. The meeting will also be attended by Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh and members of the NEC comprising governors and chief ministers of the 8 northeastern states. Senior officials from northeastern states and central government are also expected to be present. There will be presentations from the Ministry of Donor, NEC, the state governments and selected central ministries on various developmental initiatives and plans for the northeast region during the 2-day session. Mr. Shah will also launch the Ayushman Bharat program for Central Armed Police Forces at Guwahati in Assam this evening. Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan will also attend the program. Mr. Shah will also attend the opening ceremony of the first anniversary of the BTR Accord at Kokrajhar tomorrow. Assam Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal and his ministerial colleagues will also attend the program. Mr. Shah will also address a BJP meeting at Nalbari tomorrow.
Ahead of the Republic Day 2021 celebrations in the national capital, the full dress rehearsal for the Republic Day parade will be held at Rajpath today. The parade rehearsal will start at 9:50 a.m. from Vijay Chowk and will proceed to the National Stadium. The parade will pass through Rajpath, Amar Jawan Jyoti, India Gate, Sea Hexagon to National Stadium. Delhi Police has made elaborate traffic arrangements for smooth conduct of the parade along the route. Delhi Metro rail services will remain available for the commuters at all metro stations during the full dress rehearsal. However, boarding and deboarding at Central Secretariat and Udyog Bhavan will not be allowed till 12 noon. We have more from our correspondent.
This year, on 26th January, the Republic Day Parade will be held following all necessary COVID-19 preventive protocols. The conduct of the parade will be similar to last year, and a special emphasis has been laid on factoring in social distancing in all activities. This time, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the parade route has been shortened. The parade will begin from Vijay Chowk as usual, but will culminate at the National Stadium instead of ending at the Red Fort. So, it will cover a distance of 3.3 km as compared to the normal 8.2 km. Only around 25,000 spectators will be allowed to witness the parade as compared to the average of 1.15 lakh people every year. Children below 15 years and the elderly with comorbidities will not be permitted. Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
The 11th round of talks between the central government and the farmers' unions was held in New Delhi yesterday, which remained inconclusive. Talking to media after the meeting, Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar said there is no problem in the 3 laws, but government had to offered to the implementation of 3 farm laws on hold for a period of 1 to 1.5 years so that issues related to farmers' agitation can be discussed to find a solution. He said the government always maintained that it is ready to consider alternatives rather than repealing the farm laws. He said the centre gave many proposals to the protesting farmers to end the protest, but no resolution is possible when sanctity of agitation is lost. He said the agitation is being done mainly by those from Punjab and some from few other states. Mr. Tomar alleged that some external forces are also trying to ensure that agitation continues, and these forces are against the farmers' interests. He asserted that farm laws passed by Parliament are in the interest of farmers. The minister informed that farmers' unions have been asked to get back to the government by today with their decision on its proposal to suspend the implementation of 3 farm laws and find a solution. Mr. Tomar said one should be hopeful and the government will wait till today to hear the final decision of the farmers' unions.
11वें दौर की वार्ता के दौरान जब किसान यूनियन की तरफ से ये कहा गया कि हम तो पुराने प्रस्ताव पर विचार करके उन पर सहमत नहीं हो सके और हम रिपील ही चाहते हैं, जबकि भारत सरकार ने हमेशा यह बात कही कि रिपील के अतिरिक्त कोई विकल्प हो तो बताओ, लेकिन उन्होंने कहा कि हमारी यही मांग है। तो हमने कहा कि जो प्रस्ताव आपको दिया है 1 से 1.5 वर्ष तक कानून को स्थगित रख के समिति बनाकर आंदोलन में उठाए गए मुद्दों और पहलुओं पर विचार विमर्श करके रिकमेंडेशन करने के लिए वह प्रस्ताव हमारा बेहतर प्रस्ताव है। उस प्रस्ताव पर आप पुनर्विचार करें। वह प्रस्ताव किसानों के हित में भी है, देश के हित में भी है।
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Nation pays homage to great freedom fighter Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose on his birth anniversary today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address the inaugural function of Parakram Divas in Kolkata today. Prime Minister to also hand over land patta to indigenous landless people of Assam at Shivsagar. Home Minister Amit Shah to chair plenary session of North Eastern Council meeting in Shillong. Full dress rehearsals for Republic Day parade being held in the national capital this morning. And Myanmar, Mauritius, Morocco and Seychelles received India-made Covishield vaccine. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
Welcome back to the morning news. India continues to forge ahead with its neighbourhood first policy as it extends a steady shoulder of a friend in need to its partner countries. Myanmar, Mauritius, Morocco and Seychelles received India-made Covishield vaccine yesterday. India will continue to supply COVID-19 vaccine to partner countries over the coming weeks and months in a phased manner. Addressing media in New Delhi, External Affairs Ministry spokesman Anurag Srivastav said it will be ensured that domestic manufacturers have adequate stocks to meet domestic requirements while supplying abroad. Many countries have evinced interest in accessing vaccines from India, which is the global hub for vaccine production. Prime Minister has already stated that India's vaccine production and delivery capacity would be used for the benefit of all humanity in fighting this crisis.
On the first day, 1.5 lakh doses of vaccines were supplied to Bhutan and 1 lakh doses to Maldives as grant assistance. Yesterday, we have supplied 10 lakh doses to Nepal and 20 lakh doses to Bangladesh. And today, consignments of 15 lakh doses for Myanmar, 1 lakh doses to Mauritius, and 50,000 doses to Seychelles have been airlifted. Supplies as grant assistance to Sri Lanka and Afghanistan will be undertaken after receiving confirmation of regulatory clearances from these two countries. Contractual supplies are being undertaken to Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Brazil, Morocco, Bangladesh and Myanmar. As of now, India will continue to supply COVID-19 vaccines to partner countries over the coming weeks and months in a phased manner. It will be ensured that domestic manufacturers will have adequate stocks to meet domestic requirements while supplying abroad.
A total of 228,563 beneficiaries were vaccinated yesterday through 6,230 sessions, which were conducted in various states and union territories on the 7th day of the world's largest COVID-19 vaccination drive. The Health Ministry said the COVID-19 vaccination program was conducted successfully on the 7th day of the countrywide massive exercise.
Ladakh has registered zero COVID infection for the first time in 8 months. 403 samples were tested yesterday and all the samples tested negative. Our correspondent has filed this report.
For the first time after almost 8 months, when Ladakh became free of COVID infection in May last year for a short period, Ladakh once again recorded zero COVID infection yesterday. Ladakh was one of the first regions in the country where COVID-19 positive case was reported in early March. After Kargil district, Leh district too has shown better control on COVID infection so far, as no new case of COVID positive has reported yesterday. With discharge of 5 COVID patients during the last 24 hours, the recovery rate in Ladakh registered 98%. At present, the active case of COVID-19 is only 68 in the Union Territory. Yangchen Dolma for Air News from Leh, Ladakh.
In Uttar Pradesh, the COVID vaccination work is going on according to guidelines of Union Government. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath visited Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia Medical Institute at Lucknow and reviewed the vaccination work. He took stock of arrangements and progress of vaccination in the state. We have more from our Lucknow correspondent.
Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has said that the vaccine will be available for all according to priorities set by central government. 1,527 booths were established for vaccination to the health workers yesterday. Additional Chief Secretary Health Amit Mohan Prasad told that COVID vaccine work will be carried out on every Thursday and Friday in the state. He told that during the last 24 hours, 370 new cases of COVID have been detected in the state, and during the same period, 484 people have got recovered from corona. He told that the recovery rate has increased to 97.30%. So far, around 5,82,000 people have got recovered. MS Yadav, AIR News, Lucknow.
In Maharashtra, 21,610 health workers were vaccinated till 7 p.m. yesterday. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
As many as 21,610 health workers were vaccinated at 282 centers in Maharashtra yesterday. Beed district has the highest number of 151% vaccination. Hingoli, Amravati, Wardha, Jalna and Usmanabad districts followed with 100% vaccination. Dr. Pradeep Vyas, Principal Secretary of Health Department, said that a total of 74,000 people have been vaccinated in the state so far. Meantime, the state reported 2,779 new COVID-19 cases, taking the cumulative total to 20,03,657. 50 patients succumbed to the infection during the day, taking the tally of the deceases to 50,684. On the other hand, 3,419 patients were discharged yesterday, taking the total number of the recoveries to 19,06,827. Madhuri Pange, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Gujarat, fresh cases of COVID-19 are constantly reducing. The recovery rate has further improved to 96.28%. COVID-19 vaccination drive is progressing smoothly in the state. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
11,352 persons were given COVID-19 vaccine in Gujarat yesterday. With this, the total persons received the COVID-19 vaccine have reached up to 47,203. Meanwhile, Gujarat has recorded 451 new cases of COVID-19. The total number of COVID-19 cases detected so far in Gujarat has reached up to 2,57,964. Out of this, 2,48,650 patients recovered. 700 patients discharged from the hospitals after recovery during the past 24 hours. At present, total active cases in the state are 5,240, out of which 51 patients are on ventilator. 2 patients died yesterday, taking the total deaths due to COVID-19 up to 4,374. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
In Karnataka, 42,425 healthcare workers were vaccinated in 1,100 sessions held on the 7th day yesterday. This is 52% of the 81,519 targeted beneficiaries. So far, 182,503 beneficiaries were vaccinated in the state. More from our Bengaluru correspondent.
According to the State Health Bulletin, 7,771 healthcare workers were vaccinated in Bengaluru urban yesterday, followed by Belagavi with 3,787, Tumkuru with 2,174. Karnataka Health Minister Dr. K. Sudhakar has said that 2 crore people will be vaccinated in the second phase. Speaking to media in Bengaluru yesterday, the minister further said that 8,47,908 people have registered for vaccination in the first phase. Meanwhile, Karnataka reported 324 new COVID-19 positive cases, 890 recoveries and 3 deaths during the last 24 hours. R. Murthy, AR News, Bengaluru.
Southeast Central Railway has set a new record by operating the longest goods train in the history of Indian Railways yesterday. A report from our Raipur correspondent.
The country's longest freight train was run in Chhattisgarh by connecting 5 goods trains together. The longest goods train began its journey from Bhilai D cabin of Raipur Railway Division to Korba in Bilaspur Division. Named as Vasuki, the total length of this freight train was about 3.5 kilometers with 300 wagons. Earlier, on 29th of June, the long-haul Super Anaconda train was run by connecting 3 loaded freight trains together. The operation of the long-haul racks results in savings of crew staff, optimum use of railway tracks, and prompt delivery to consumers. Normally, for running 5 racks, 5 loco pilots, 5 assistant loco pilots, and 5 guards were required. However, only 1 loco pilot, 1 assistant loco pilot, and 1 guard were required in the Vasuki train yesterday. Vikalp Shukla, AIR News, Raipur.
Now, let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital is likely to have dense fog. The city temperature will hover between 9 and 18 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was around 17 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be around 29 degrees. Chennai witnessed fog in the morning. It will have partly cloudy sky later. The temperature will vary between 23 and 32 degrees Celsius. In Kolkata, there will be mainly clear sky. The city observed a minimum temperature of around 15 degrees Celsius and a maximum of around 27 degrees.
And now, an overview of today's newspapers. Most dailies are reported on inconclusive centre farmer talks. Rethink its best offer, government to farmers, writes the Tribune. No further concessions to offer, government tells protesting farmers, is the headline in the Hindu. PM seeks to dispel vaccine hesitancy in interaction with health workers, reports the Hindustan Times. Faced pressure but went by scientists on vaccines, PM bid to dispel doubts, headlines the Indian Express. The Tribune reports that the fire in SII has cost a loss of 1,000 crore rupees. Amid efficacy row, Covaxin gets thumbs up from Lancet, headlines the Times of India. Congress to elect party chief by June is the headline in the Statesman. Biden respects successful ties with India, says White House, writes the Hindustan Times. Kamala further cements the importance of U.S.-India ties, says a top White House official, reports the Asian Age. The Tribune pays tribute to singer Narendra Chanchal, who died yesterday. Chalo Bulawa Aaya Hai. Singer Narendra no more, writes the Pioneer.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Nation pays homage to great freedom fighter Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose on his birth anniversary today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address inaugural function of Parakram Divas in Kolkata today. Prime Minister to also hand over land patta to indigenous landless people of Assam at Shivasagar. Home Minister Amit Shah to chair plenary session of North Eastern Council meeting in Shillong. Full dress rehearsal for Republic Day parade being held in the national capital this morning. And Myanmar, Mauritius, Morocco and Seychelles receive India-made Covishield vaccine. And we end this bulletin with the INA song that motivated our freedom fighters and generations of Indian youth.
दुश्मन दुश्मनों का शत्रुदेव वतन बढ़ाए, शेर हिंद आगे बढ़ बने